welcome to Bitstorm, a comedy game design podcast by two guys who know nothing about comedy nor game design. I'm Ben Slinger, and with me, as always, is Trevor Scott.
Hello.
Hey, Trevor. You know what? Let's do some movies.
Okay. We can do some movies.
Choose your own movie. So this is a game where we each have a random movie selector in front of us, or I won't say generator, because these are real movies. And on the count of 3, 2, 1 movie, we're each going to get a movie from the movie database, and we are going to make up a game design either based on just the title or the actual movie itself, as if it were a movie tie-in game, or, you know, maybe we'll just use it as a jumping off point for something fun.
Yep. It's all just a bit of fun.
Yeah, let's jump right in. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I have The Ritual from 2017.
I have Chaos Walking.
Ooh.
Which I actually watched from 2021 with Tom Holland.
Okay.
This is an interesting one, actually. So I don't know if you've heard anything about it. It's basically... Well, I'll read the thing. Two unlikely companions embark on a perilous adventure through the badlands of an unexplored planet as they try to escape a dangerous and disorienting reality where all inner thoughts are seen and heard by everyone. Except that's not entirely true. It's only the men whose thoughts can be... They basically kind of appear as these little apparitions around their head as they're thinking it, and they do have a way to like suppress it, but if they're not good enough at it, it shows as thoughts around their head. And it's basically they're like colonizing a new planet, and she comes down from a new ship that's supposed to come, and whereas he's been there for a while in this sort of a fucked up community there where they've essentially killed all the women.
Okay.
It's kind of screwed up. But just the idea of the thoughts is kind of cool, like the visible thoughts.
And the ritual was a group of college friends reunite for a trip to the forest and encounter a menacing presence in the woods that's stalking them. Or in this case, a menacing presence in the woods that has thought bubbles around their heads.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. That's kind of cool, actually. That's it's a horror thing where
you know who they're going after next. Because
you've just seen a vision of that person being torn apart viscerally.
Oh, this is already like an idea of, it's not every character. It's your character has this, sort of altered state or something like that, and they're being stalked. But how they can get out of this and how they can save the other people is the fact that they know, what the enemy is thinking. And this is a single player adventure, but you're going up against, I'm thinking like an AI director sort of thing, like from.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so
it's replayable in that sense. You might get different outcomes. You might get different paths that get taken on any particular run.
Because it's all based on what you're currently doing. Like if you're hiding in the back sort of thing, then, he may come, or the prowler or whatever we call this thing may come, from another location. But you just have to be able to see everything that's going on. And
so I like, to put this all together, I like a few things about this. Essentially, this is almost a narrative roguelike where we're exposing the AI in a degree by having these thought bubbles, essentially, these thought apparitions, which is, like, in a way, obviously, that makes sense within the narrative then. And, yeah, that can allow for essentially a branching narrative that is going to be nicely replayable but still has some good systems-based gameplay in there.
Because the people that you're protecting, they could still get killed, Because I think rather than it being maybe against one person that you're going up against, like you kill this one, and then it's like it alerts, another one of these things, and it's just you happen to be able to see any of these.
Or it's just you trying to get through it, keeping everyone alive or something, and that's really difficult. Like, to keep everyone alive is really difficult. I'm picturing this as sort of like a classic horror movie sort of situation where you start off with 5 or 6 people, campers. Well, again, depending on how systems based you make it, you can have different locations, you can have different characters, and it's all about sort of getting a vantage point on, like, if you can get a vantage point on this thing, figure out where it is without being seen, you're going to get a sense of, you're going to be able to see, oh, okay, it's going here next, or it's going after this person next, or here's the weapon it's using, or because you see these horrific visions, essentially, of it tearing that person apart with a, fucking sickle or whatever.
And as much as you love her, Grandma's not your first priority.
Well, that's it. You might have to choose to sacrifice Grandma to save the others, because you know that he's coming at Grandma with the taser, and so if you, like, spill the water under Grandma's wheelchair, then you might be able to take him out, knock him out easily, and get everyone else out.
I'm loving the idea of having lots and lots of different achievements, and one of them is like Grandma's special boy, and that's when literally Grandma's the only one left,
the only one you get out. Yeah, well, again, I love this idea of you've got a selection of maybe 20 people that you select 5 or 6 from each game, and they each have relationships with each other and with you. Maybe you even just play a random one of them as well, so that those relationships can come into play in different ways. But that it's just this very systemic thing, systems-based thing of, people, you may tell someone to go somewhere, but if you don't have trust between you, then they're not going to follow. They're going to do something else.
And then I like the idea that as you start, being able to predict, oh, he's going to go around this around the tree this way, and he's coming to get you, Michelle, and so get behind me. And then because she's now behind you, you look and you see, oh, it changes. It's changed the target, and it's now heading over here because it knows that it can't get through us. Or it's just chosen me. Quick, get behind Michelle and push her forward.
Push her forward. Yeah, well, that's it. I love that idea of seeing. It's almost like you're predicting the future, but you're not. It's just you're seeing what the
selection
AI
of the decided.
AI. Yeah, the selection of the AI, basically. But that's a really fun way to expose that without it feeling too just like seeing the inner workings of the game.
I love the idea that, you give Michelle a shield, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's got a Molotov cocktail. Oh, quick, Michelle, quick, get out of the way, sort of thing.
Well, and that's an interesting thing is, I think you'd have to write the AI well enough that you don't want it to always choose the best solution, that like, oh, because you gave Michelle the shield, it's going to choose something that gets past the shield. You may have it that like, oh, it's already got, the sword that it pulled off the suit of armor because you're in the Haunted Mansion. So even though it probably could tell that the character it's going after is not actually going to be killed by it, you almost want to lock in that selection so that you see your decision, your solutions play out. It's like, oh, great, I've just given Michelle that shield. It's going to attack Michelle. Michelle's going to be okay. Meanwhile, I can get, Debbie out and go make out with her in the closet because I need to build up our trust so that she listens to me next time. Because, it's the teens in the Haunted Mansion. There's going to be some counts.
Yeah. All the teens and Grandma.
Grandma's chaperoning, but they got her drunk at the beginning of the night, so they actually have to just wheel her around.
I love how we've gone to Grandma's in a wheelchair. My thought is it's not because her legs are disabled or anything like that. It's just she chooses to be in the wheelchair.
Yeah, she just likes having teens push her around. It's a power trip.
Or you don't have to explain why she's just in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
And so is Daryl.
And that's it.
Daryl's also in a wheelchair, and that's for other reasons.
Yeah.
It's because 3, 2, 1 movie.
Yeah. All right. 2010's Legion. I haven't heard of this one.
Okay. I thought that would have been maybe the 1980s Legion.
No. This is about like angels in the apocalypse.
Well, that may work well with Inferno by Dan Brown.
Oh, that's the fourth one, is it? Or third or fourth one of the Da Vinci Code?
Yeah. After waking up in a hospital with amnesia, Professor Robert Langdon and a doctor must race against time to foil a deadly global plot. So, I know that could actually work quite well with, an angel sort of thing that, you think that it's actually...
It could do, although I kind of like the synopsis of this. When God loses faith in humankind, he sends his legion of angels to bring on the apocalypse. Mm-hmm. Humanity's only hope for survival lies in a group of strangers trapped in an out-of-the-way desert diner with the Archangel Michael. I guess they have to, convince him or something. I can't quite tell. Is that Channing Tatum? No, I don't think it is.
That does sound pretty cool, and... So where Inferno comes in is outside of this diner.
The world is on fire.
It's just, there's flames everywhere, and it's basically hell on earth. And everything that is going to go
Paul
down...
Bettany. It's Paul Bettany.
Okay.
Interesting.
Which, kind of works well with the Da Vinci Code, where he played a...
the priest or whatever.
Priest that, whipped himself and shit.
I agree that... Yeah, essentially it's hell on earth. We don't need to go super close to the synopsis necessarily, but I do like that idea of a bunch of people trapped in a diner during the apocalypse.
And one of them amongst you is an angel.
Right, is an angel.
And
it could be like a social deduction sort of game.
Yeah. Oh, that person looks like he's never eaten pie before because he's eaten it all wrong. He's eaten it from crust to filling.
It's John Travolta's...
Michael.
Michael?
Yeah, it was Michael.
Michael as well, because he was out. Right. That was a much goofier sort of one.
Yeah, but I like the idea of you think that it's him, but it's like, no, I just like to have filling last. Who wants to finish on crust?
Meanwhile, there's a guy in the corner who's got massive wings going, which one of you is the angel? Is it you can't eat pie properly? And they're like, dude, you've got a massive pair of wings. It's like, fuck.
They're paper mache. Anyway.
I was on my way to a costume party.
He's Australian. My name's Mike.
And then the girl Michelle, you notice, has a halo that just is floating above her head.
And then there's someone with cloven feet, and it's like, hang on a second.
Hang on, Lucy Fur.
Her name's Lucy, and she's wearing lots of fur. And she's got horns and a red face. I know you could have a bit of fun with storylets and that sort of stuff in this.
Yeah, well, it's always similar to the last one in some ways, where a narrative
deduction,
roguelike-ish sort of thing. But I do wonder if you could take it in a multiplayer direction instead, where instead of single-player storylet-based, it's almost like a game of werewolf or something, or like Among Us.
You are the angel.
Yeah, that's it. It tells you the angel. You've got certain powers then. I guess it's what is the action? Are you just talking to people? Trying to convince them? Which is fine. I mean, that's what werewolf is.
Yeah. I don't think I've actually played werewolf. And I kind of think that might be a bit of fun to...
Yeah. Yeah, it's a fun little... I mean, you can play it without it being a board game. Like, it comes from... Because there's, Mafia and stuff, too, which is similar. But essentially, you can just get the rules and you pass out pieces of paper to say what each person's role is and everyone knows what each role can do, and then you do your rounds of discussion and voting and deciding. But there are some board game versions, of course, particularly of Werewolf, that simplify that a bit.
Cool. Because I know that could be a bit of fun, like just each person gets given like things that they need to do. Like they've got like a little bar going up that, if your character doesn't drink coffee every, 10 seconds or so, like their heart's going to explode or something like that. Or
it could just be little things like you've got their different roles. One person's the angel and they've got some powers they can do, and they've got maybe their goal is just observe and decide whether humanity should survive or something. But then you've got people like the hardcore religious nut who, you've only got certain dialogue options and they have to, they have to figure out who the angel is or something. And then you've got the sullen teen who just wants to get out of there alive. Or
I can literally imagine a religious zealot getting so annoyed that they weren't selected for the rapture that they're like, what do you mean I didn't get selected? And then they go hard the other way because they don't,
because they're just feeling spiteful. Yeah. Michael's like, no, that was a mistranslation. It's the Raptor and he's coming. So we need to figure this out before it gets here. Yeah, it goes around and kills all the unclean. So
it's not the Raptors, it's the Raptor.
No,
like yeah. Takes him a while. It's
Bill. He's a good guy actually, but he's vicious.
And he's got this
Steven Spielberg got it pretty.
He's got this one claw in between, like his kind of feels very much a Wolverine like.
All right, 3, 2, 1 movie.
3, 2, 1 movie.
Friday the 13th.
Freddy versus Jason.
Seriously.
But you know what? I like the idea of just taking
for a tie-in.
I just like the idea of taking the name Freddy versus Jason.
Oh, okay.
And it's just a guy by the name of Freddy and a guy by the name of Jason, and it's just two guys, one guy named Freddy, one guy named Jason, and they're just regular guys, and they just, it's a 1v1 multiplayer game where you get selected into just random, like they can be. One game is chess. The next game is,
Well, no, I kind of like
Russian
rather
roulette.
than playing different mini games. God, I kind of do just like the goofy idea of, like a round starts and it's like, oh, am I Freddy or am I Jason? And then based on that, it's gonna have some implications on the gameplay, and they just each have their own personalities and skills. I guess it could be different.
They are identical twins, so you don't know which one you are.
So how do you figure it out then?
Context clues based on, and Freddy can jump and Jason can run really fast.
Wouldn't you just figure it out immediately?
But only when they're tired. I don't know. Put some weird rules in place and it's just, and go. And you're like, okay, which one am I? You start trying to push all the buttons and you both are pushing the same buttons at the same time, so you don't know if you're
still trying to figure it out. Oh my God. Maybe it's just like a kart racer. But there's only ever two people, and one's Freddy, one's Jason. It's just like, fuck you, Jason. I'm going to win this time.
There's something about, like, if it's just two regular dudes and they're identical twin brothers, so you don't know who's who.
If you get real close, one of them's got, like, a scar on his cheek.
And it's from when Jason,
knifed him.
Yeah, with a mission.
They don't. They really don't like each other. Maybe you do. Maybe you go uber violent with it. Maybe it's this fucking twin brothers, Freddy and Jason, and every game they just hack each other to pieces in some way.
It's kind of like Armageddon, in the fact that you got multiple ways to win, and one of those is killing your brother.
It turns out they're actually these like immortal gods who are just down on Earth, and they can't die. They or come back to life after any. Yeah, they respawn basically.
Yeah.
They have no other purpose other than just fucking with each other.
Mayhem.
Yeah,
there's something about if it was a multiplayer game, and one of you's Freddy, one of you's Jason, you're walking around, you're just going through your normal everyday things, and then if you see the other one, that's when all shit breaks loose, and wherever it is,
maybe
anything and everything is available at your disposal.
I'm picturing a really cartoony thing now as well, actually, where and it's all around their names and stuff. So if you find the baseball bat and you track down Jason and you smack him with it, it just this massive Freddy comes up on the screen as you whack them, Freddy. And then Jason goes off and finds the fucking airstrike, and it spells out Jason on the ground in explosions when it goes that. It's just really over the top.
I like the idea that anywhere that you go in the city, you're sort of just out and about, you've got maybe a few different errands that you get given to do, but there's a lot of good weapons here that I could use. I don't want to move too far away from this.
It's or it's basically a battle royale game, but there's only two people, and there's not a storm or whatever. It's just that eventually something will happen, or one of you will knock something over, which will put up a big dust cloud, and the other person will, oh shit, they don't know where they are now. But you've spent those first 5 minutes gathering weapons and stuff, and it's just whatever you've been able to find. Or maybe you're not just finding them, maybe you have to fucking buy them. And so you have to do a little mini game to earn some money to go to the shop to buy the airstrike, or or whatever it is.
I like the idea of you don't know, there's lots of other NPCs in this sort of place, and you can sort of blend into them. And
right, yeah. Yeah, you could do that, because it'd be fun to have the collateral damage as well once shit starts going down.
Hell
You've just got ragdolls flying everywhere and giblets.
You didn't realise that, who you thought was Jeremy, the garbage collector, is actually Freddy. And he threw
the mask on.
he throws Jason into the back when, Jason came running out of the...
Right. Okay. I like the idea of some grappling. It's almost a gang beasts sort of thing then, where you can just grab onto them and they're trying to get away, and then, but maybe they had bought a grenade that they can drop, and that you just blast you both into the air. And it's okay, now
press B to pull pin. Mutually assured destruction. If I'm going, you're going. You just go and you just drop it.
Yeah.
You hold on to them.
So you've got all these a big fucking explosion. Freddy. And then just lots of wacky big weapons like that.
And then there's an expansion that comes later on. Freddy versus Jason versus Ash. You add a third player in.
Our long lost triplet with a chainsaw for an arm.
Played by Bruce Campbell.
Yeah. Oh, they were all played by Bruce Campbell the whole time. Just in preparation.
That's really cool. Let's go one more. 3, 2, 1, movie. Oh, shit.
Tell me.
American Ninja 2.
I got Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Oh, fuck yeah.
We're on a very horror movie sort of vibe tonight.
I still can't believe that we both got bloody,
the classic
Friday,
the classic slashers.
Like you got a Jason movie and I got a Jason movie. Like
that's so funny.
It's fucked up. But anyway, fuck American Ninja 2 because that was a bad movie. Let's go with Tucker and Dale versus Evil because
it's the sequel to Freddy versus Jason. It's two other twins, but this time they're on the same side.
While teenagers are killing themselves.
Now it's a co-op. No. It's just taking the title. It's just there. It's just a co-op game. Twins against, evil.
Against
things.
Real evil this time. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Tucker and Dale are two preppy sort of.
Oh, okay.
Students. I can see. Kind of like the teens in that, except they're more likable. Like, you think that they look all
like
preppy because, well, I mean Tucker's got the sweater sort of tied around his neck and
right.
It's that real dodgy grade school prep school sort of
private school teen or whatever. Yep.
Versus Evil, it's a co-op game in, like, I could imagine, a zombie.
Yeah, we could do zombies.
Zombies or
just, like, demonic forces of some sort.
Or Invasion of the Body Snatchers, like that sort of
forms. Yeah. I mean, Evil makes me think of some, like, supernatural as opposed to, like, alien. But they could be possessing, like they could still be body snatching in that way.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, I like this. Gates of Hell has opened.
Yep.
And the 100% is a co-op game that, one of you's Tucker, one of you's Dale.
Yep.
And, you go through, like, typical, maybe even like Resident Evil 5, how that was a co-op sort of game. How you had stages and you went through together. Because that's really cool.
So how as these preppy private school kids, how are you taking out the evil? Because presumably it's not with an arsenal of weapons. Because,
it's basically like golf clubs. It's things.
Right. So a bit of like Dead Rising.
Bit of Dead Rising. I could imagine both of you driving around in a golf cart.
Oh, because then one of you can be hanging out the window.
Baseball bat. Taking out letterboxes.
Did Rising did Dead Rising ever have? It didn't have a co-op multiplayer, did it ever?
I
know they had some like multiplayer modes because actually that sort of style could be really cool, where you've got these like team up moves.
Yeah,
where you can like boost someone up somewhere or like throw them across a gap to get a weapon that's there. Or, put them on your shoulders so that you're running through the zombies as they're, like, swinging chainsaws around or whatever.
Yeah, I like the idea of it's just regular sort of stuff that you'd find.
I think it's at the school, maybe.
It starts at the school, and I think you end up in the gated community where you and your family live. Are they brothers, or are they just best friends?
I think they're lovers.
Okay, that's cool.
Maybe closeted, as they probably would be in that sort of community.
Yeah.
I was thinking of how we make them more likable, and I think that helps.
Yeah. Well, I think also, like, when you see them and you go, oh, God, we've got preppies, and then they're talking,
Yeah, I think we want to subvert...
Expectations.
Expectations. They're not old money. They're new money. They got there legitimately somehow, and they're fighting oppression. That's the best way to make someone make them likable if they're in a rich private school.
Yeah. But the cool thing is you then get to see like those jock sort of guys who
have been body snatched, and now you get to cut their heads off.
Exactly. And then you find out right at the end of the game after you killed everyone else that there
was a cure.
There was a cure, and it was right at the start. Like in the science teacher's, like the science teacher accidentally, unleashed this thing because...
Right, but there was a kill code for it.
Yeah.
Or like an antidote.
Well, I think he sort of released it because he didn't know what he was reading, and he was just sort of reading it thinking, oh, this Latin's a bit unusual, and sort of...
Oh, right, I see. Yeah.
And it was in the occult section of the library.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool. I could...
Yeah, that's fun. I do like that idea of just the multiplayer Dead Rising and how you could just play with some of those Dead Rising fun zombie killing mechanics with team up stuff.
I'm wondering whether there are actually any other survivors though. So because there's something about there not being any other survivors, and
no, you reckon it's just barren of just it's only the
Tucker and Dale versus evil, literally, because they're the only two left on the planet. And it's up to them.
Well, maybe that's it. Maybe you don't find out there's a cure because you don't like. It's literally just this. No, like the world has ended. You are the only two left, and you're surviving through it. And the end of the game is essentially you've like cleared out enough of the nearby area and barricaded it off that you feel safe for now.
Yeah,
and you can set up your little homestead and live happily for a while until the sequel. Tucker and Dale versus more evil.
Tucker and Dale versus more evil. That's pretty cool. I've liked most of these games tonight.
It was fun that they kind of went the real horror bent, but unintentionally. But that was cool.
I mean, I've been watching quite a few things on Resident Evil lately because Resident Evil 4, the remake, has just come out.
Yes. I don't think I've ever finished a Resident Evil game. But anyway, thank you for joining us this week on Bitstorm. If you want to find all of our previous episodes, go to podchaser.com/Bitstorm. You can find them all there. Leave us a review. Let us know what you thought of this one or any of the previous ones. Do it. Do that thing.
If you like the song that we play at the start and end of each episode, that song is called "Man to Find Stuff" for the album Containment Failure by the band Kuridas. So check it out.
That's right. So thank you again for joining us this week on Bitstorm. I'm Ben Slinger.
I'm Trevor Scott.
I'm Freddy.
I'm Jason.
I'm Tucker.
I'm Dale.
And I'm evil.
Oh no!